Wendy Antonucci, and I am here with the May Elle Studio kit, and I was inspired by the tags that were in the kit and these little markers, little flags, and the wooden word fun. I wanted to make a layout that emphasized my pictures. Now I have a bunch of pictures, but they were not real great pictures, and I also wanted to get them all in. So what I've done is I printed my pictures out in squares. I also did one smaller rectangle, which I'm not sure of yet. But I want to get all these pictures in there. I know I wanted to house them on the tags because otherwise they were kind of get lost. And he was having so much fun. So that's why I'm working with the word fun. So my idea was that this enjoy every moment that was part of the noteworthy that was just released would look really neat with this. And that new title builder, Title Builder 2, I pulled out the word crazy, and then I also pulled out, let's see here, the word wonderful. So crazy, wonderful, fun. So this was my idea. Again, from the noteworthy, I pulled out this strip of important, favorite, on my heart, this right here, and noteworthy. And I think I just want to keep layering them. Again, I have to figure out the pictures here. I was kind of thinking I could pull these over because, let's see here, the color is blue both on his hands and on his shirt. And this strip, I was thinking it would be nice to use another colorful strip. This was one of the 6x6 papers in the noteworthy paper pad. And then I think I'm going to cut another one for up top, and I had one cut but I've lost it, so I'm going to have to find that. So this is my basic idea, but when I was looking at this, it seemed like it was still very empty. You've got these great tags and these little things that made my page great. It's going to tell the story, but I wanted to take it a little bit farther. Looking at his hands, I knew I had some paint that color, so I have this old paint from my stash. It was still wet enough. And then this darker blue. Because he was making so much mess with his hands, this is slime, our first experience with it, I thought it'd be fun to make a background. So I am going to move this and get another paper. Now I am not an artist, I'm just having fun with paper, nothing more. So what I'm gonna do is, I didn't have any plastic wrap or anything, so I'm just gonna pour this on another piece of paper. And because the picture had the light blue on his hands, I want to start with that. So I just took a little scrap of plastic wrapping that comes on the different embellishments and such. I'm just gonna move this around the paper to get it off, and I'm just gonna go for it. Now I know I have these tags on this side, and I know they have the title there. When we were looking at the page, there was a lot of empty space on the left-hand side. So that's where I'm going to concentrate my slime marks. And I am not doing anything impressive. I'm just dabbing a little bit off and putting it on the paper. Nothing more, nothing scientific or artistic about it. I don't like doing mixed media a lot of times because I do not like when my page gets warped. So by just putting the paint on in this method, there's really no warping whatsoever because it's just a little bit of paint. It's pretty much just dry. I don't have to wait for it to get dry because it's pretty much dry already. So to me, that is the best way. I don't like to wait for things to dry. If I have a chance to create, I want to go for it right then and there. And I don't like warping. So this was just a really quick and easy way to add a little bit of color, tell more of my story, since my story is about this mess my son was doing. Now, in this, he also had on his shirt, which was a little bit darker blue, So I thought it'd be fun to add a little bit more pops of blue. So this was just this color. And again, I just put it on my paper, and I don't want very much, so I'm just really dabbing that off. Just enough to add some highlights in. And that's about it. Now, my next thought was, when I was looking at this, that the fun, it matches these, the craft paper tags, but I wonder what it would look like if I painted this that dark blue. So since the U, I could turn it over and cheat, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Another way I like to paint, let me move this one out of the way 1 second, is baby wipes. You can take a wet one, or you can just take a dry one and move it around. So I'm just putting the paint right on the letter, and I'm just going to use a dry one I have and kind of get it on there. Now this is on the back, so it is not covering it really well because it is rough on the back, or not real rough, but a little bit. But this way I can see how it looks, and I haven't ruined my letter. Well, except I have a little bit of paint on there. I think it'll look really well, but if you're like me and you're not really into mixed media and you want to try it out, this is a great way to do it. And I could get a paintbrush and do this a lot nicer, and I probably will if I decide to go this way. But for now, this will do. So I'm just kind of getting it on all the nooks and crannies. Like I said, I think I got it on the front a little bit, but I could probably clean that off if I decide not to do this. Okay, so there's an example of it. It is on the back, so my front is pretty much still clean. But does it fit what I want? And I think that really makes it pop. When I was using the natural color, it just kind of blended in, but by using that, it just really pops. So I'm going to paint those with a paintbrush this time, do it for real, and I'm going to glue those down, and I'll be back and we will take another look at this page. So I do have my fun painted. It is probably still wet, so I'm going to be careful and just get those down for placement. See how much the color, the paint on the background, I mean, I didn't do anything fancy, but it just really brings it up a notch. I'm going to scoot these over just a little bit more to use the other side. Okay, now I have these other words that I wanted to add in, crazy and wonderful. So I think I want to keep them pretty close to the word. So I need to stamp wonderful. And now the choice is what to stamp it in. I think I'm going to go ahead and stamp that in black, just so that it really does stand out. I have the dark blue, but I don't think I want it to be the same color. I think it needs to have some variation. So I'm going to go with black. I like the Letter It's ink by Ranger because it's a nice crisp black and it does not smear. And since I have a tendency to get into my ink once I've inked things, that's a great choice for me. So I think right about there. Okay. And I like to clean all of my stamps. I just clean it with a baby wipe, because it's something that I have right there beside me, and so it's the most convenient thing for me. Okay, so there's the wonderful. I'm going to grab some liquid adhesive. I like fabric tack to get down the word crazy. And so I'm going to get that down, and I like that off a little bit to the side. So right about there, that looks good. Now, I still have some open space here, and it's a little wet, so I could add what I was looking at were these May stamps, the Hello stamps. That's my story and sticking to it. I really like that. I think that's probably the one I was really looking at. So I thought I could maybe stamp that there and use my typewriter and add in some of my journaling there. My other choice would be, let me find some of these other details in the kit. I could add in these little phrases that came in there. I like all that color. I kind of like the star too, but I think I might put that down there. So I actually really like that color, so I might go that way. Just one of those days. These are the golden days. Just one of those days. I don't know. I think I like this and do all the things. I think that would look great down here to kind of help tell my story. So I think that looks really good. I like all the color. Now, the orange is not on here anywhere else. The red is, so there's a few pieces of red. So that's okay. The orange is an added one, and I'm okay with that because that's just a pop of color. The fun starts here. I like that one too. If I chose just to use that one big picture, this would be great right there if I went something like this and then just put the fun starts here, which that might be really good, except I really like that other picture. Sometimes it's a matter of do you want to make a design choice that looks great on your page, or do you want to put in that picture that you just really love? And that's up to you. There's no right or wrong answer there. This is always a good idea. Yeah, right. I hope to never see slime in my house again. Just stating that little fact. I know it's a big hit, but oh, it's a mess. I don't know if we just played with it wrong, but it's not something I need again. More of this. Let me see if I can fit this in somewhere. I'm not sure I can, just because I have these tags here. But I could put that over here too. And kind of stagger these like I was already doing. Scoochie that over just a hair bit so I can fit them all in. So that's pretty good. I like all that color. It's just, it is a busy page, but I like how it tells the story. It looks messy to match his hands, so I have used embellishments that help to tell my story. I always do add in handwriting, so I'm going to do that once I find a spot. I'm still paging through some of those things that came in the kit, some of those words. I love how colorful everything is. And let's see here. I don't think I'm going to be able to fit any of these in because I don't have a lot of room. But this, play all day, love it, it will be okay, this is real life, it's all in the details. This is what I definitely want to add in. So I'm going to glue these things down, and I've got to decide about this picture, and then I'm going to take a look at these stickers. So here we go.